Right now, $400 feels expensive. Not because it's a huge amount of money, because life already has plans for it. Rent is due. The car needs maintenance. Groceries cost more than they did last month, and every dollar seems to have a destination before it even reaches your account. That's why investing feels impossible. You've probably told yourself the same thing millions of people tell themselves every year. I'll start when I have more money. It sounds reasonable. It sounds responsible. But what if waiting is actually the most expensive financial decision you can make? Because the real cost of investing is obvious, and you see the money leave your account. The real cost of not investing is invisible. You never see what that money could have become. And that's why most people underestimate it. The future is hard to imagine. Next weekend feels real. The sale ending tonight feels real. The food delivery app feels real. The future version of you doesn't, at least not yet. Imagine you're 25 years old. You have $400 left at the end of the month. Not life-changing money. Just enough to disappear into small purchases you probably won't remember a year from now. Or enough to start building something. So you make a decision. Every month, $400 gets invested automatically. No debate. No motivation required. Just a system. The first month feels disappointing. The money leaves. Nothing exciting happens. The second month feels exactly the same. And that's where most people quit. We live in a world obsessed with immediate results. Investing rewards the exact opposite. Patience. For the first few months, the account barely moves. Some days it's up. Some days it's down. Nothing feels impressive. But something important is happening. You're becoming the kind of person who pays their future first. Most people spend first and save what remains. You're reversing the process. And that changes more than money. A year passes, life keeps happening, birthdays, unexpected bills, stress, work. The same things everyone deals with. But every month the transfer continues. $400. Again and again and again. And when you finally look back, something feels different. Not because the account is huge, because you kept the promise. 12 months ago, you wanted to invest. Now you actually do. And that distinction matters, because wealth is rarely built from knowledge. Most people already know what they should do. The challenge is consistency. And consistency is where most people stop. Not because they're lazy, because life constantly gives them reasons to quit. A trip, a new phone, an emergency, a surprise expense. There is always a reason. But every month you continue, the habit becomes stronger. And habits are what build financial lives. 3 years pass, and this is where something interesting happens. For the first time, your money starts doing a little bit of the work. Not much, but enough to notice. You look at the account and realize that not all of the growth came from you. Some of it came from time. And that changes everything, because until now, every dollar in the account felt connected to a sacrifice. A dinner you skipped, a purchase you delayed, a temptation you ignored. But now the account is beginning to grow on its own. Slowly. Almost invisibly. But it's happening. This is what people call compound interest. And despite how often the phrase gets repeated, most people never truly understand it. Because compounding doesn't look impressive in the beginning, it looks boring. Then one day it looks obvious, and later it looks unstoppable. 5 years pass. The account is larger than you expected. Not because you became a genius investor, not because you found the perfect stock, because you stayed in the game. And that's when something happens that scares almost everyone. The market falls, headlines predict disaster, experts argue on television. Social media fills with fear, and your account starts shrinking. You open the app, the number is lower. A week later, it's even lower. Every instinct tells you to do something. Sell, pause, wait for things to calm down, protect what's left. But then you remember why you started. You never invested because you thought the next year would be perfect. You invested because 30 years is a long time. And long-term plans are supposed to survive short-term chaos. So you do nothing. And strangely enough, doing nothing becomes one of the smartest financial decisions of your life. Months pass, the panic fades, the market recovers, then it climbs higher. And you learn a lesson that most people never experience firsthand. Volatility is temporary, panic is expensive, patience gets rewarded, not immediately, but eventually. And eventually is exactly what investing is about. By the time 10 years have passed, something feels different. The account no longer feels fragile. The growth no longer depends entirely on your monthly contribution. For the first time, it feels like the money is helping itself grow. And that's the moment you realize something important. The hardest part was never choosing an investment. The hardest part was staying consistent long enough for time to matter. 15 years pass, and something unexpected happens. You stop thinking about investing, not because you don't care, because it has become part of who you are. The transfer happens automatically. The investing happens automatically. Life continues. And the account keeps growing in the background. That's when you realize a surprising truth. Wealth is rarely built through dramatic decisions. It's built through small decisions repeated for years. From the outside, nothing looks extraordinary, but from the inside, everything has changed. Then one day you meet someone younger, maybe a coworker, maybe a friend, maybe someone who reminds you of yourself years ago. They ask how you became so calm about money, and for a moment, you don't know how to answer. Because the answer isn't one thing. It wasn't a lucky stock. It wasn't perfect timing. It wasn't some secret strategy. It was simply time. Time and consistency. The same $400. Month after month, year after year. Then you imagine meeting the version of yourself who almost never started. The version who kept waiting. The version who said, "I'll do it next year." And you realize something. The difference between the two lives wasn't intelligence. It wasn't talent. It was a single decision repeated over and over again. 20 years ago, $400 felt expensive. Now it feels insignificant compared to what it became. And that's the lesson. The money was never the most important part. The habit was. Because once the habit existed, time could do the rest. Most people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment never arrives. The truth is much simpler. The 30 years will pass anyway. The only question is what will be waiting for you when they do. Future you is watching. And whether that person feels gratitude or regret depends on a decision that can start today. Just $400. Just 1 month. Just the beginning. Subscribe to my channel and like it.